Hey guys, happy Monday and welcome to another edition of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So as you might notice, one of the twins is gone, the 61 walkthrough Deluxe bus, which has normally been sitting right here. It is officially over at our neighbor's shop, Octavio's now, where they're going to install all the interior panels and the rear carpet and so on. So they did finish the seats except for the front, the front passenger side walkthrough seat. I mentioned before that the owner accidentally supplied two driver's side, so he's supposed to have the passenger side front seat in the next couple days. He's getting it powder coated. Anyway, here is the middle seat, and it's looking awesome as we expect. So they finished that up today, and then here is the rear seat. I don't remember if I had showed that last week. I don't think we had it at the time. But anyway, there it is. And so, yeah, this morning Rafa finished putting on the Deluxe trim on the side of the bus. So again, that's the trim that kind of goes on the belt line up over and then around and obviously back down the other side and back down. And then there's trim on the rocker panels down there too. So we got all that installed and got the beading that goes in it, which matches the body color kind of down the center of that aluminum strip. So when that bus comes back in a few days, I'll make sure I show all that. It looks really, really beautiful. But anyway, yeah, so Rafa spent about 2/3 of the day finishing putting the trim on that bus. And then, yeah, went over to Octavio's. So me, for my part today, started working on the 2-liter. So this is the motor for the 69 Cowlick Bug. So we had previously had Dave Greiner at Proformance built up the long block, which is what we normally have him do, and then we build it up from there to a complete motor. So again, this motor, when it came in, it was an 1835. It had these nice, well, they weren't this nice at the time, nice Spanish IDF Webers. These are 44mm Webers. And so I pulled those apart, ultrasonically cleaned them, and now they are going back together. So this side is almost done. The top is just kind of sitting there at the moment. But it's kind of funny. I don't know who had worked on this car before, or these carburetors. It's not the current owner. It was maybe some previous owner. But I don't think I've ever seen floats that were off as much as these floats. They were basically, when I reinstalled them to put the thing back together, they were already like compressing the little needle and seat valve, even though the float was like down here somewhere and the float wouldn't even move. It was all kind of bound up in there. So there's a couple little tabs. There's a tab right there that limits the down travel of the float, and then there's a tab right there that limits the upward travel when the float closes like that. So this distance is supposed to be 10 millimeters between the top here and the top of the float itself, and then when it dangles down, it's supposed to be about 32 millimeters. Anyway, those were completely off, so I got those dialed in. And other than that, this carburetor is about done. And so I will start on the next one, which is all cleaned and everything already, but it's completely disassembled at this point. The other thing that I did today then was I went and match ported the intake manifold. So let me pause this for a second so I can get one of these manifolds. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So let me just show you the intake manifold. So this is now ported to match the heads. These heads are level 5 IMPI CNC heads. And so you can see what the ports on these look like. These are pretty decent sized ports. The valves on these are 40 intake by 35.5 exhaust. Pretty beefy ports. Again, CNC machine. You can kind of tell that by seeing the machining marks there versus ones that are hand ported. So my buddy Darren Garola, who used to own and run DRD Racing Heads, for those of you that have been around performance Volkswagens for a while, probably remember DRD Racing Heads. So he's the one who actually programmed all the CNC ports for most of, or a lot of, at least of IMPI's current heads. They bought him out when he closed his shop down, along with his Haas 5-axis CNC machine and all of his ports that he had made. So I actually run a set of his heads on my red car, the autocross car. They work really, really well. Anyway, yeah, so these are I believe some of Darren's old ports here, the level 5. But yeah, so I went ahead and ported the manifolds, got them to match, and then looking into getting the tin for this motor and getting it together. So hopefully the car itself is going to be back from paint any day now. Oh, we've been saying that for weeks now, but hopefully for real. And then we can start in on the car itself. The other thing that happened today when Rafa, I mentioned he spent about 2/3 of the day on the bus. The other hour and a half or so he spent on the Ghia. We actually borrowed some of these seals because they still haven't come in from Carmen Ghia Parts and Restoration. I don't know what's going on with these guys. I'm begging them to ship me my parts that I've actually paid for already. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, a neighbor shop actually had a pair of these seals in stock, and so he let us kind of borrow them. We'll get him another set when ours come in. But in the meantime, this allowed us to start putting the rest of this car together. So the driver's side pop out went in, passenger side pop out will go in tomorrow, and then that's going to allow us to do the final adjustment on the door windows, because everything has to kind of made up on the pillars and so on. And then the door panels can go in. And the only other major outstanding thing on this one then that we're waiting for parts is these vents. And I think the owner, hopefully, fingers crossed, is going to have a pair here before too long. So that's pretty much it for today. And I guess we will see you guys again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.